So we're back.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Backroom Buzz, new location.
New studio.
Yeah.
Our budget increased. Only 2 episodes. We got a new budget.
I was going to say, this is our 3rd episode, but it's been 4 or 5 months
Yeah.
since we did the last one.
It's been 5 months, but
Been a lot happened.
been a lot going on. New studio, new location, a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Back room. It's the new back room, so I'm excited.
Still got a few things to do in here, but it's budget's improved just a little bit. We got out of the back room,
The real back room.
back room
Yeah.
into a front back room.
Yeah, it's cool in here. Y'all got a new house. I love it.
Yeah.
We're gonna spend a lot of time in this room, especially.
Yeah, we get it complete and get it set up, and then we'll definitely have more talks and look a little bit more official.
That's right. So July, about mid-July was the last time we did this. Like you said, a lot's happened. I think the last time we did this was right after Trump got shot in the ear.
Yeah, I'm laughing, but yeah.
And then he got shot at again since then. And then we had an election, and he ended up winning. I had a fun time watching. I was going to have a fun time regardless, though, because I'm a political nerd.
Yeah.
And so the night of election night was the night before we left for my bachelor trip. And so I was like, you know what? I ain't got to go to work the next morning. Got a long drive. So I stayed up pretty much all night. Well, most of the night, watching the results come in and saw what happened.
Presidential election, that's the Super Bowl of politics.
It is.
The only different thing is that's good about it is there's no more commercials. A lot of people watch Super Bowl for the commercials.
Yeah,
year, I'm glad the commercials
not the
are
election.
gone.
I mean, it's nonstop action, especially with the 24/7 news cycle we have and all the news channels that just cover news. But it was fun. I got to stay up, and I'll remember that night for a long time. I remember the last couple election nights. Because like I said, for me, it's just fun to stay up and watch every state get called and see what happens. Because what happened isn't what they said was going to happen either.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, they try to sway the vote and give you a little power suggestion as far as the way things are going. Like I told you before, I've never been polled until this year. And I think simply because...
You got polled this year?
I got polls up and going on off my phone all the time, text messages or emails or whatnot, mainly text messages. But I think it's because I said I've never been polled before.
Yeah.
And
they're listening.
Yeah, it's definitely listening.
They're always listening.
But before that, no, I'd never been polled. And I'm like, where do they come up with these polls?
I mean, I got sent the text messages and the phone calls, and I ignored them all, though, because
you never know what you're opening up. You don't know if it's a spam or what, or how actual, if it's true, if it's validated, or I don't know. But I wasn't opening any of them up either. Mm-hmm. I wasn't casting my opinion on it, not in something that I wasn't so sure as far as what was being sent to me.
That's right. But it has been a while since we did this, and it's funny because we've only done 2 episodes. This is 3. I'm calling this our Christmas episode too.
This one is definitely it's. They've both been unscripted, the 2 previous ones, but we knew what we were talking about. Yeah. Now this is unscripted, and I really don't know what we're talking about.
You don't know. But I made the notes for this.
I was going to say, you've got notes here.
Because in the family, I think I'm Mr. Christmas too. And this, I'm considering this our Christmas episode.
Okay.
So we're going to talk a lot about Christmas in this episode.
Up and Christmas episode then.
But it's funny though, because, we did the 2 episodes, uploaded them, sort of advertised it just through my social media. You don't have social media. And I was like, man, ain't nobody really watching this, which we don't care. I mean, we said from the beginning we don't care who watches. This is fun for us. But I got stopped out in public once from a guy who I haven't seen in 10 years since high school. Come up to me and say, hey, man, saw your dad in your podcast. Really cool. When y'all going to do another one?
Oh.
I was like, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then at church.
We got one fan.
We got one. Shout out, AJ.
Thank you, AJ.
So, and then at church, some guys that I know a little bit, don't know super well, but they've come up to me and said, hey, man, when you and your dad doing another podcast? We've watched it, and it's pretty cool what y'all are doing. So, it's cool knowing people are actually watching this. It's not just me and you talking to my phone up there.
Well, like you said, we really don't care one way or the other. This is just something for us to be able to bond with and communicate and talk about the different differences between the generations.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're family. You're my son, and we've got a lot to share. I think it is cool because this is something that, regardless of what happens with it, it's always going to be there.
That's right.
I'm not always going to be here.
All right.
I don't want to get deep,
right.
but hey, we're not always going to be here. We're not. We're not designed to live forever. So with something like this, I mean, it'll always be there.
Yeah.
People that from my generation back. I mean, we go back and we pull out. Well, it got to the digital age as far as video cameras, but prior to that, it was the mini VHS tapes and the VHS tapes, and and prior to that, it was even the old reel.
Yeah.
Back with mom and dad. But stuff like that gets put away in a box, and that's not where things are at as far as technology wise. And so this here, I don't think is changing for a long time. I think it'll be there, and it'll be there to be streamed for future generations or family members to look at.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Because I mean, it'd be cool. Life is changing, and I get married in 3 months.
Oh wow!
And
I say that like as a surprise, but I know that
it's coming.
But we've just been so busy with things going on with with the sale of our land, the sale of our camper, the buying of this property here, trying to get everything in before Thanksgiving, and everything happened within that week. There, we were still moving up until Thanksgiving Day, and just trying to be able to provide a place for our family to come, us to be able to host it for the first time in years. Not that we hadn't hosted it, but it was just always at Mimi's house, So yeah, I mean, and I've thought about it, but yeah, you're 3 months away.
Yep. That'll happen in 3 months. I'm excited. I'm ready for it to get here because, people tell you how busy it is and just everything, and they tell you slow down, enjoy the time, and it flies by. It flies by. I mean, it feels like just March, I was proposing, and then here we are 3 months from the next March when the wedding is, so it's crazy.
Well, things don't slow down for y'all because y'all are constantly planning. You've had other things going on, and we threw I know that y'all have had the bridal shower that we put together, the tailgate party thing. Y'all had another one? Y'all had one at Tracy's? Holidays are here, You've got other friends that are getting married, baby showers. I mean, y'all's generation does a lot more than what my generation did, for sure, as far as the parties and stuff like that. But I wouldn't want y'all scheduled by no means. And like I said, you've got 3 months, and you've got all this other stuff that's still packed in within those 3 months prior to the wedding.
Yeah, and December is full. I tell everybody, December's full. Don't ask me to do nothing the month of December because it's full. I'm just going to tell you no.
December's always full.
But going back to what we were talking about, this always being here, and I think it'll be cool, like I said, getting married and then eventually having kids in a few years, to have my kids go back and look at some of this stuff, it'd be pretty cool too. Mm-hmm. It's weird to talk about. It's weird to talk about out loud.
We're talking about kids?
Yeah.
Your kids?
Out loud. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you think it's weird. It's weird. Well, it ain't as weird for me. It's just, I think about aging though, and I don't feel my age, but at the same time, I know my age.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other thing, something else big that's happened since we've been off the air, we've had a whole football season.
Oh man, it's
been
a drunk college football season.
I'm telling you, first year of the 12-team playoff in college, and it couldn't have come at a better time because it's been crazy. Like you said, it's been a drunk college football season. There's not been, if we still had that 4-team playoff,
we wouldn't be in it.
Who are 4 teams that will go in there right now?
Well, you got Oregon that's undefeated.
Oregon, but then
from there
who knows?
It's toss up. I don't know. Alabama. Heck,
they'll
make their way in somehow.
Yeah, that's what Jordan, my fiance, she's an Alabama fan.
Yeah,
love her still.
Yeah, we love you, Jordan, but
we were sitting there.
We're still going to convert you.
When they lost to Oklahoma, I looked at her. We were watching that game, watching the end. And I said, "Hey, you gonna pull for my team through the playoffs because your team ain't going." And now here we are. They're number 11, trying to find a way. Answer? She was like, "Oh, what did she say?" I don't think she was in the mood to even give me a good answer at that time.
Okay. Well, Jordan, you don't know about all the texts that we sent back and forth when Alabama was losing.
Those texts don't exist.
I can share them with you.
Nah, it's all right. But yeah, when they came out with last week's rankings, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" They're sitting there at number 11, which is the last spot, because that 12th one is like for the Group of 5 team. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. But if Clemson wins this weekend, I think there's a chance they knock Alabama out. Well, we'll see. But
that's a whole other story.
We got Texas again tomorrow night, SEC championship game. This will probably come out after that, but big game. 4th year in a row for the Dogs in the SEC championship. Haven't won it. The last 3 we've been in it. I hope we win it this time because we haven't won it.
Well, we're playing a whole different team
in 7 years. So. Yeah.
Alabama has been our Florida Gator.
Yeah. Well,
from the 90s.
Yeah. Every time I think about tomorrow's game, my hand just keeps kind of cramping like that.
Yeah.
Getting stuck like that right there,
Yeah. I don't even know how to go up. My hand won't even go up. Like it goes about halfway like that, and then it goes back down. That's it. I don't know what it done to my wrist, but that's about it.
I'm repping the Dogs. I'm going to keep repping the Dogs, even though this season, still a 10-win season, but how we got there, it's just been crazy. And we shouldn't have lost games we lost.
And we got lucky games
we won. We probably shouldn't have won. So it's just been weird, but it's fun. I still love my Dogs.
We're going to still bleed red and black. And like I said, regardless what happens at the end of the day and
I'm going to hate
what
the
scoreboard shows. I want to win, but I'm going to still support them.
Jordan asked me, she said, "What are you going to do once it's over?"
There's your countdown clock is going to start over.
February to August is, at that point, I'll probably just do what I'm told. I don't know. We got a wedding.
You won't have much time to think about it between now and March.
Yeah. But anything else happened in the last 5 months?
Hey, well, for me, there has been. As far as around the nation, the election, that was controlled every aspect of media, social media, television, everything,
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I'm glad it's over with.
I think everybody's just glad it's over with. I think it was getting to a point of you care who wins, but let's. And you know what? I compare it to the last game Georgia played against Georgia Tech when we went to 8 overtimes and it was after midnight. So look, I love my Dogs, and do I care? Yeah, I do. But right now, no. Just end it. Just end the game.
Get it over with.
I think when we got to 6 overtimes and nobody was catching the ball on either side, it's like, man, this game will. But I think the Dogs did that on purpose. They just wanted to win on Saturday in Athens, so they waited till Saturday to win.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since they made us play on
Friday night, don't wait till after midnight.
Strung them along until it was Saturday.
That's a good theory.
Yeah. So it is Christmas time. Is it my favorite time of the year?
I think it is.
Well, you got football season.
Well, it falls.
I consider football season its own season, like Christmas season. They're probably neck and neck. If I'm being honest, probably neck and neck. I love cold weather. We're getting cold weather.
Depends on what it does to you. Football season brings out the man in you. Christmas season brings out the child in you.
That's true. That's true.
So it just depends on. They're two different things, obviously, but they bring out two different aspects of your personality and whatnot.
Well, nostalgia is I'm a big nostalgia person. I think that's one reason I love Christmas now, as a 28-year-old, is all the memories I had as a child of Christmas. Not wanting to let those go.
Yeah.
I love it. But I was going to ask you, because one of the things I think we want to do on here is have conversations we've never had before. and I want to ask you things that we've just never talked about. But
you put me on the spot. See,
yeah, and I mean, I'll answer these questions too. But I want to know what some of your favorite childhood memories are from Christmas that you remember.
Oh wow!
Like, what was Christmas like for you growing up with Uncle Todd and Mimi and Pop?
You threw Uncle Todd in there. Gosh, I'd have to say, I mean, as a kid, your parents want you to believe as long as you can in Santa Claus. Well, as I have an older brother, that knows sooner than you.
If there are any children watching this, parents, you may want to turn this off at this time.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyone under the age of 13 is not. This is not for y'all. But anyway, so having an older brother, I mean, he knew the difference before I did, obviously, and but he still kept that spirit going for me. Surprisingly, but I don't know. I guess it was after knowing that that Santa Claus was actually mom and dad. The fun that we got out of that with them, because we'd go to bed, but yet we would hear them still trying to play Santa Claus, even though we knew the difference. And they would, they'd be, it sounded like they were tearing down the house a lot of times. And it wasn't like we got a whole lot of stuff, because we wasn't like mom and dad were loaded. But they always made sure we had at least what we asked for, at least one thing, But I don't know. I guess the biggest thing is probably the stockings. I mean, Tiffany goes crazy on stockings. Yeah. Well, the stockings that we got, I mean, had a little fruit in it. That was it, But we appreciated that,
I tell you, I remember the first Christmas after you married Tiffany, and we were all over there. And this was mine and Bryn's first Christmas with the boys and everything. And we walk out, and number one, you see just a mountain of gifts. Just a mountain of gifts. And she had them all perfectly stacked, wrapped with a bow. This is your pile, this is your pile, this is your pile. Keep in mind, there's 7 of us.
Yeah.
Then you look over at where your stocking is. And it almost makes you now, looking back, feel kind of like, and I mean, it's awesome. But it's like, good Lord, man. Like, there's kids that don't even really get a Christmas, and we're basically getting 2, right here. I mean, it's insane, but it's awesome. I mean, when you're the one getting it, trust me, it's awesome.
Oh, it's always awesome.
When you got a 12-pack of your favorite soda sitting beside it, and I mean, all these little knickknacks and stuff she stuffs those stockings with candy and toiletries and everything. It's crazy.
I guess I get a little, I know I get a little Scroogey, I guess, when she starts doing that stuff. Because I think, I do get eye twitch, because I think back, I was just happy with that fruit in my stocking, as a kid. Yeah. Why are we having to give, I mean, all the gifts is one thing, but then having to give all this other, And it's not that you're giving it to 1 or 2 kids. I mean, we've got a slew of kids, so I mean, it's bip, lined up.
Now you're starting to add, wives and stuff.
Oh yeah,
we'll get there.
The plus ones,
yeah.
And the grandbaby gets everything now. So
Thanks, Barrett.
But I mean, going back to me though, as far as the memories that. It was definitely hearing them, and it sounded like they were tearing down the house. So, and then once it got quiet, knowing they were going to bed, slip out and go in and see what they got. And you would think that there'd be something big in there, Yeah. But it'd be just some little bitty toy or something. Like, y'all made all that noise to bring this out,
They did on purpose.
I think they tried to do it in the dark. Yeah, they may have done it on purpose to fool us.
No one popped. He's probably stumbling around though. Stumbling.
Yeah,
probably what you heard.
Probably so.
What you heard.
The Christmas joy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I mean, the similarities though, because I mean, you grew up in the '80s, and I grew up in the 2000s, and
go back a little further from me.
70s, 80s, yeah. Late 90s, 2000s for me, but
70s I was still believing in Santa Claus. '80s was not so much.
I got you. Well, were you devastated when you found out that there wasn't a Santa Claus?
Nah.
You weren't? I was pretty heartbroken.
Were you?
I think I was 8 years old, and I remember the night. Like, I remember I got called in. I think we've talked about this before. When I get called into the living room, it's never anything good. It was never anything good. There was never, Hunter, come to the living room. We need to talk to you. Hey, buddy, we got you a new bicycle. Like, it was never anything like that. It was always bad. And Brinley wasn't in there. It was just you and Mom, and you had me in your lap on the recliner. You're like, we need to tell you something, buddy. It's like Santa is...
You're 15 years old now, man.
Wasn't 15.
It's time to start believing in Santa Claus.
I was 8. I remember being 8. And I was like 8 or 9. And y'all were like, yeah, buddy, it's not real. We're Santa Claus. It's like, okay. Pretty sure I got teary-eyed. Not happy. But then I did the same thing that Uncle Todd did for you. I tried to do for Bryn one time. I got in trouble for it. Because I found this like computer program that you could make like cards and stuff at Mimi and Pops' house. Mm-hmm. I'll go in there and just make all kind of stuff. Well, I made this little homemade card that was from Santa to Bryn. And I snuck in there in the middle of the night before everybody got up. And I left it by the tree. Mom in there found it and knew I had went in there before everybody else. So I got in trouble for that. I was like, I'm trying to do something else for my sister. And here I am on Christmas getting in trouble. But that's not the first time I snuck in there to see what y'all had brought either. Because once y'all told me that, it was like, well,
it's on now.
Game on, buddy.
Yeah. Well, that was me. I was like, listen, can't blame this little cheap gift on Santa Claus now.
I didn't move
I know who it's coming from. Y'all got to come with the good stuff now.
I never moved anything. Because I didn't want to be obvious, but I would like look around, and sometimes there would be that big item that wasn't unwrapped, and then I couldn't sleep the rest of the night. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to get it, play with it, you know. Uh-huh. So yeah, so different times, different eras, but not so different.
No, different eras, but the feelings and the joy that you get out of it is still the same, you know.
I don't know. That was the same year, by the way. Y'all told me Santa wasn't real, and I don't know why I remember this so vividly. Maybe because it was one of those things I didn't get this that I asked for. But I mean, I guess since I was a child, I just had things that I would obsess with. You know, I've always had something. And that time in my life, I was obsessed with Indians, like Native American Indians, and everything about them.
That's some of the mountain trip coming out.
And for whatever reason, I had this specific shirt that I wanted. It was just a shirt. It was like an Indian with a wolf on it. I was like, I want this shirt for Christmas. And I told Santa at the mall. I think I wrote a letter, and I didn't get it that year. That was a clue.
You didn't tell the right person.
That's right. Right. That's right. Some of my favorite Christmas memories is, you got any more?
I guess some of my favorite ones was when our whole family got together, and I'm talking about not just our immediate, I'm talking about our extended family, cousins and whatnot, you know. And I'm saying, I can remember them coming up and being there Christmas Eve, and all of us being together and spending the night, you know, not going home. They were there for Christmas morning as well, and all. So, you know, things like that. It's all about family, you know. The gifts, they're great, but the time you get to spend with family is most important. And that's what I enjoyed most, I guess. Even as a kid, even now, it's not about the gifts. And I kind of, again, I can get a little Scroogey, you know, with y'all, simply because y'all got everything that y'all need. There's nothing that you're wanting for. Just money. And just money right now for you.
Just money.
But you see all these people that don't have. Yeah. And I don't mind giving that way, you know, and giving a little extra. So I guess my heart goes out to those that are less fortunate and don't have things. When I know that, like you said, when you see the gifts and then you see the stockings that Tiffany puts together, you know, you're like, that's great.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but there's definitely some out there that, you know, need more than what we're giving y'all. And so for me, it's given to others, but it's mainly being together with family, which is what it's supposed to be about anyway. Yeah. It's not about the gifts, you know. Well, number one, it's about Christ.
Don't forget that part.
That's the most important thing that we've left out.
Yeah.
And then it's about being with family.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously as kids, the gifts is what you're excited about. But
well, for sure,
when it comes to memories, I don't remember many gifts that I got. I mean, I remember some, but that's not what I remember. You know, like some of my favorite memories, number one was before we could come out of our bedrooms.
Oh, little Kenny Chesney.
We could not come out until you had, and we had the early 2000s full stereo stand, top to bottom. You put your CD in there, Kenny Chesney's Christmas, and All I Want for Christmas is a Real Good Tan. You'd hear those first few notes that start that song, and that's when we knew.
Well, I had a good sound system, so it sounded good.
Yeah, you had to show it off. But now, I mean, I have to listen to that song every year now because of that. You know,
yeah.
It's not Christmas to me now without listening to that song. It's because that was every year we would listen to that coming out of our rooms. It was like our little intro music coming out of the hallway. And then. You know, for me, going over to Mimi and Pops' house for the longest time, and it was just me, I would do it, is go over there and help them decorate. Because I spent a lot more time over there than everybody else. So I would go help them decorate.
I wish you could throw up the little one. You could edit it in, the picture of you dressed as
Buddy the Elf.
Buddy the Elf.
Yeah, that wasn't childhood either, buddy.
You was a big elf. You was Will Ferrell size elf.
I was probably like 19,
yeah,
18 when I did that. But I mean, I'm talking about going back, little kid, and going over there every year. I mean, I knew where everything in the attic was from a child, all their Christmas stuff, and a lot of the old nostalgia decorations they had, like the little Santa and the rocking chair. I wish I knew what happened to that thing, or the Santa that danced to Jingle Bell Rock, or Mimi's, like some of her homemade ornaments she had, putting them on the trees. That kind of stuff, you know, for me I'll always remember that.
I'm nostalgic with that too. There's some ornaments that Mom, your Mimi, had passed down, and that we had always decorated the tree with. And so when I see those, I mean, I definitely have memories and flashbacks of that. The old big bulbs.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the lights on
big bulbs.
The big bulbs. I mean, I think they're cool. You know, I'm just and the tinsel. And I ain't talking about, tinsel. I'm talking about a lot of tinsel.
I don't like the tinsel. But the big bulb thing, I think it's coming back. I think the colored lights themselves are coming back. They're making a little comeback. And not like the LEDs, but like the true, like, I don't know if they were like fluorescent, whatever they were. But those lights are making a little comeback.
It might not be the fluorescent, but they might be the big LEDs, the big size old bulbs and stuff.
They're cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's the nostalgia thing that makes them cool.
Well, everything comes full circle. Everything comes back around. Style comes back around, so why not the big bulbs at Christmas?
Did y'all have any traditions that y'all did every year as a family or growing up for the holidays?
No traditions to speak of other than just, I mean, we always got together with our cousins, either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We were always going to Thomasville. One reason I love Thomasville so much. So, yeah, I mean, as far as just going and visiting, down on the farm, Dad's mom and Dad's place, and then going on to Thomasville and visiting there. That was our to do thing every Christmas. I mean,
y'all kept that going when we were coming up because we'd always stop at Mama Fallon's in the middle of the day and then go on down to Thomasville on the way from her house. We did that for the longest time. I don't think we had traditions. I mean, like you said, we did the same stuff as far as visiting family and stuff. That was always set in stone.
As a kid, we didn't, but I started with the tradition with y'all watching the Christmas Story.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. And we would watch that Christmas Eve.
The 24-hour marathon. Yeah. And then we probably watched it on Christmas Day, too.
Yeah. I say Christmas Eve. Most of the time we watched it on Christmas Day. But we did watch it on Christmas Eve occasionally. But that's a tradition I love.
I'm starting traditions. now that I'm getting married.
Well, I know you're on day what's today, the 6th? You're on the
6th.
6th day of spinning the wheel to see what Christmas movie you're going to watch.
I think I missed a day. Maybe I didn't. I think I might have missed one day. But yeah, I want to watch a Christmas movie every night up until December 25th. And part of that's nostalgia too, because there's not many new movies on my list. But ABC Family, well, what used to be ABC Family, used to have their 25 Days of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And they would do that every night. And they used to play the good stuff. Now they play like the same 3 movies over and over. But like the old Bass and Rankin stop motion cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
Like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the Rudolph, that kind of stuff. Love those.
60th anniversary of Rudolph.
That's crazy.
It's on tonight. It is crazy.
What's
crazy is I'm not so many years behind that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's true. Yeah. But I'm starting that, and making it a habit or a tradition every year of going to see Christmas lights together as a family. Whether it's off at Callaway Gardens or Chi Hall or just riding the neighborhoods and seeing the Christmas lights.
Right.
Because I love stuff like that.
Well, that's fun. Best Christmas experience, though, for me, was New York.
New York.
If you get a chance, which you went after Christmas because you were there for New Year's Eve, but you still got to see all the lights.
Everything else was still going on.
The tree at Rockefeller Center, everything that's going on, all the storefronts with their displays and all. You got to go see the Rockettes. I mean, if it was a bucket list, and of course me and Tiffany went years ago. But if anybody gets a chance, I mean, that should be on everybody's. If you love Christmas, it should be on everybody's bucket list. New York is just a place to be at Christmas time. A lot of people don't like the congestion with the traffic and the number of people that are there, but you can navigate it. I mean, it was one of the best trips that I had ever taken.
I think if you want to go to New York and if you love Christmas, it's great to do one time.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I'd do it again though. Not that time of year.
I would go with some other family members that hadn't been, just simply because to see their experience with it and see the joy on their face. But I mean, for myself though, I wouldn't go back just for myself.
I said I wouldn't go back, and now I'm getting married, and she's done said I want to go at Christmas time. I was like, I'll go once for you at Christmas time, but don't ask me to go again.
I'll sure have
take a girls trip. But so we're gonna have to plan that at some point. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, I've seen a lot of shows on stage, but the Rockettes might top them all.
Yeah,
just
great.
With how
the precision,
and I mean, it was like there wasn't a mistake in the whole show. It was incredible. Plus the Christmas on top of it.
Yeah,
and you're in Radio City, which is probably the most historic theater in the country.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. I mean, just being in Radio City to me was cool.
Yeah.
Seeing the historic theater, but then to see that show, it blew me away. And then seeing the Rockefeller tree in person, it was all right. I mean, it was cool to say I seen it, but the crowd around it, I could have done without that. Not a big crowd guy like that. And I was there during New Year's week. Like, I was there during New Year's.
Well, that
was insane anyway.
There's a lot of people there for that.
So
we were there like it was the second week of December. It was right like the week after they did the tree lighting. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of people there. But like I said, if you've got any sense of direction and are smart enough to figure out the transit or the subway system,
metro.
I mean, you can go from here to there in no time, and get off and navigate your wherever you want to go to. We didn't have any issues except for the first day. The first day when we flew in, and it was a late flight. I say late. It was late afternoon flight, and we got there and it was raining. I had arrangements for somebody to pick us up at the airport to take us to our hotel. Well, they took us to the hotel, but it was not the right hotel. It was the same name hotel, but like 3 blocks away. You know,
it was like a Marriott here and a Marriott down there.
Yeah. And so by the time I figured that out, I tried to get out and get the driver. He was gone. But the guy at the desk, he was pretty nice. He told me, he said, it's not that far of a walk. Well, it wasn't that far of a walk, but it was that far of a walk when you're walking in the rain, pulling luggage, and you're tired already because you've driven to, I think we flew out of Jacksonville. So we had driven there, waited around, called our flight, flew in, waited around for our driver. We were just kind of beat and then dragging luggage in the streets of New York, which we weren't the only ones. There was other people dragging luggage. I mean, but I wasn't a happy camper. In fact, what really ticked me off was I was going to catch a cab. Just go here, and they didn't want to take me just to here because it wasn't that far.
Not a lot of money for him.
No, not a lot of money. And then who I was talking to, he couldn't understand me, or I couldn't understand him. One of the two. But I started to reach through the window there and grab him and pull him out. Is what I felt like doing. So that was my first experience with New York, and I wasn't happy at that point there. And but anyway, we made it to our room, and then we went to see. And it was just kind of last minute. We went to see if we could get tickets for Phantom of the Opera.
I remember when y'all did that.
Yeah, and couldn't tell you what that was about at all. I mean, it was
Phantom of the Opera.
Well, I know, but we were psyched out up in the upper section up there. Shoes got kicked off and all. But anyway, we're getting off Christmas. But all that was at Christmas time. Yeah. But to say that was, the first evening, and we were kind of tired. But the next day, woke up, it was beautiful, clear skies. And we did pretty much everything that we could do there at Christmas time.
Yeah, it's a cool place to go at Christmas for sure.
Yeah.
So as a parent, what was your favorite part of Christmas as a parent with us growing up?
Oh, it was seeing y'all when y'all come in there. First thing, the excitement on your face. Especially when you still believed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is about a parent. You want to see the joy of expression, or the expression of joy on your child's face, and you just want to make them happy. So that was probably the best part of it. It's pretty simple.
I think I'm going to be like all in when it's my turn. Just, I mean, Buddy the Elf.
You're going to dress up and
in that Buddy the Elf energy. That's going to be me probably. Just all about it. That'll be cool. I'm going to put you on the spot now.
I think you have put me on the spot already.
Well, I'm really going to put you. I'll make you think a little bit. Top 5 Christmas movies. You only get 5. Like if you were told you only get these 5 Christmas movies, that's all you can watch every year. What you gonna pick?
Well, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay.
Jim Carrey. I mean, that's just. I mean, you can't beat that one there. Gosh.
That's one.
Yeah, I know. Polar Express.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have thought that from you, but okay.
Really?
Yep.
Does it have to be?
I mean, A Christmas Story has to be on your list.
That's why. Yeah, it is. But it is. I was going to ask, does it have to be can it be a short film, something like that?
A Christmas movie.
Okay. All right. So, A Christmas Story for sure.
That's 3.
And here's some of that nostalgia: Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph.
And then Santa Claus Coming to Town.
Okay.
And that's just that inner childhood coming out.
We have 2 of the same. Do you know which 2 are the same?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Nope.
No? What?
It's an honorable mention, but if I have to pick only 5, it's not.
Man, you played the Grinch in chorus one year.
I know. And I love Jim Carrey to death, and I love that movie. But if I had to pick only 5,
well,
because I've watched it recently. That was one of the first ones I watched this year, and I watched it and I enjoy it. But I'm like,
I can watch it every year.
I don't know. I think it's losing something with me. I don't know. But it's not in my top 5.
All right, A Christmas Story should be.
That's on there.
Probably Polar Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about that movie. Brinley doesn't like it.
Really?
She does not like that movie. I don't know why. I think I have a reason why. But we won't get into that.
I will say honorable mention would be Scrooged.
With Bill Murray?
With Bill Murray. Classic.
That's
one.
up there.
Yeah.
That's up there.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to pick 5. Hard, because, I mean, there's
a ton of them.
It was hard for me to put 25.
But I have to put the old original, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the
like you said,
Santa Claus
much
Coming
younger than
Down.
that. So.
Yeah, that was
For me, and I kind of put mine in order, but not really. At 5, I had Polar Express. That movie's 20 years old. Hard to believe that movie's 20 years old this year. Elf.
Yeah.
The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Love that movie. A Christmas Story. And then number 1 is Christmas Vacation.
Oh gosh, I didn't think about that one.
Miss Christmas Vacation.
There's so many, like you said. How do you put them in a top 5?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all those are good. Christmas Vacation would have to be up there too. That's another honorable. I mean, you can't give me a top 5.
To me, Christmas Vacation, I almost want to watch it on like Christmas Day or Christmas Eve too. Like it's that good where I want to sit down, and just where everything's kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there laughing at that movie. God, I love that movie.
Well, TBS has done, and they started early, kind of like they do with the Christmas Story. It was right after Thanksgiving. They were running a 24-hour Christmas Vacation back to back to back. Yeah.
That's such a funny movie. I don't think that movie will ever not be funny.
I don't want to watch the things with commercials, though. I want to watch.
Well, thank goodness for streaming.
Yeah.
You don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Because, I mean.
And I hate watching, I love watching A Christmas Story. But when it's, the 24-hour from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day.
You're watching more commercials.
You're watching more commercials than anything else.
Movie,
when you can watch the movie and be done with it,
Absolutely.
That's classic, though.
You have a favorite Christmas song?
Yeah.
What's that?
A Christmas song.
That's your favorite Christmas song?
Nat King Cole. Mm-hmm. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I have a favorite secular Christmas song and a favorite non-secular Christmas song.
Well, I've got both. I mean, but
what's your favorite? Because that's secular. So what's your favorite non-secular?
Non-secular will be "Oh Holy Night."
Yeah, me too. That's my favorite non-secular. My favorite secular, and I only discovered this song in the last couple of years, is "Old Time Christmas" by George Strait.
Oh.
That's such a good song. I think a lot of people would think mine would be like Blue Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's up there, but yeah, Old Time Christmas by George.
Well, I've got a Christmas mix on Spotify, and you can follow me on there because it's a great Christmas mix. Why are you shaking your head? You can.
Yeah.
It's just a Christmas mix is all it's called.
I've
got like 110 songs on there.
I got like 112, but it's okay.
Okay, so we're counting now. Let me hold on. I have to get my phone out and add a couple more.
I can't because mine's up there, but yeah.
There's a lot of great, Christmas songs.
Again, it's hard to pick. I think, I love Away in a Manger. Also, it depends on who's singing it too.
That's true. So, new song, "Oh Holy Night." If you hadn't heard their version, it's tremendous.
You know what version I like?
Which one?
I think it's Lone Star.
Oh, really?
They got an awesome version.
And just like with the Christmas song, there's been several different artists that have over the years have done, probably every artist has done it. Justin Bieber and Usher do a duet with it, and it's real good. But the traditional Nat King Cole though is it's hard to beat that.
So we were driving to her parents the other night, and had my Christmas music on, and I have the Justin Bieber Usher version of that song. And I remember really liking it, and for some reason that night, I wasn't into it at all. because he does so many.
That's because maybe it was all the runs
I was like,
that Justin was doing.
I don't like this song as much as I used to, but it's still a good song.
It is.
All right, last Christmas question I have, and then I'm done. And it's a big debate amongst us Christmas lovers. Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Oh, Christmas Day.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a Christmas Eve guy. Christmas Day is over. Like by lunchtime Christmas Day, all the like magic and everything, it's pretty much gone.
Christmas Eve is so busy most of the time, especially when you have kids and all, because you're preparing for the next day, Christmas Day itself. So you're busy. You don't have time to just sit and enjoy it. Where at the end of Christmas Day, kind of like on the Christmas Story, you know, he's sitting in his chair, the snow's falling in the background, you know, the Christmas tree's lights on, and he's just sitting there and they're just reflecting over the day. That's the best time of day. When everything is done, everybody's gone, you're able to just recharge, just chill out, sit back. And
that may change when I have kids, but right now for me, it's Christmas Eve at night because it's like, you know, tomorrow's Christmas, but it's like
you saw all the gifts and you saw all the stockings, right?
Yeah.
You saw all the stuff that went with the stockings, right?
Yeah.
It's a job. There's no.
I don't doubt
you're clocked in on Christmas Eve.
I don't doubt
you can't clock out until Christmas Day that night.
All right.
So yes, it will change for you.
Well,
Trust
for me right now, it's Christmas Eve. It's at night. You got the Christmas tree lit. You know, for me right now, there's a calmness to Christmas Eve. Now I have to work Christmas Eve until like 6 this year, but something about Christmas Eve, the night before. I don't know. It's just there's something about it.
I've enjoyed. The only thing I've really enjoyed on Christmas Eve lately is. And of course, we don't have, you know, everybody to have to get ready for like before. Tiffany still does, you know, the stockings and all that for y'all. But it's when the church does their service on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's always nice.
I enjoy that.
I hate Christmas is on a Wednesday this year, though. It's in the dead center of the week. And for those of us with real jobs,
you got to go back to work.
I got to work the day before and the day after.
Well, you need to tell your boss, man, hey, I don't think Christmas Eve is.
Mr. Bob, don't listen to my dad.
Yeah.
I love my job.
I don't think anybody's really going to show up. I mean, you're paying these people. I mean, hey, if he wants to pay you to show up for half a day or day, so be it. But I'm just, Mr. Bob, we can save you a little bit of money there, buddy, on that one. Yeah. And I'm saying that, and I'm working Christmas Eve this year. So
yeah, you're probably only working half a day.
Half a day. Yeah.
I'll change when I have kids. I'll just take PTO that day.
Yeah.
But I don't have kids right now, so.
And I say that, and when our last segment we did back in July, I talked about not having a job.
Yeah. Yep.
I need a job. I've always had a job. I just don't do it very often.
Yeah.
It's remotely and. Just whenever I need to fill in. And it's, you know, for them, they're able to take this week off, which is good because, I mean, we've got stuff going on, but I don't have as much as they've got going on. And they got their first grandchild and first grandchild's Christmas. So I can go in and fill in and let them have that whole week off.
That's right.
That's great.
Well, I ain't got
it's about giving. I'm about giving.
I ain't got nothing else.
No, I don't. Well, I didn't have anything to begin with.
You didn't.
This was...
keeps it more authentic.
Yeah, this was definitely off script for me, more scripted for you because you had the questions and all. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we won't be 4 months later down the road and doing this again. Hopefully we'll be able to do something after the first year. We definitely need to do something prior to the wedding. We need to do something about.
Well, I'm hoping now we've got our new setup in here. We're able to do this more often. You know, we definitely won't wait 5 months to release another one.
Yeah.
Hopefully
we'll see how this one turns out.
Yeah. I hope it's recording.
Might be a little bit. Yeah. Well,
we don't know. We've ran into that before.
I don't know. It looked like it was recording after the fact, but
we'll see.
Might be a little editing to be done, but
no, man. This is completely unedited,
unscripted,
authentic. Me and you. But I enjoy it. This was fun. We gotta do this again.
Yeah. Now we got to go watch
On the
Because
Christmas movie.
you spun the wheel.
Yeah, I
You
got
gotta
the
watch
wheel.
Christmas
We
movie.
gotta go watch a Christmas movie now.
Which is?
Tonight is I'll Be Home for Christmas from the 90s. I think it's from the 90s.
You know, I should have seen that then.
Should have. You probably have.
Probably have. I just don't watch it anymore. I don't know where you come. How did you come up with that one?
It's just one that I've watched many times and liked and kept it in my repertoire.
Okay. All right.
So, all right, man.
Let's do it. Well, hey, see you next time on Backroom Buzz.